Here we're focusing on strategy and performance, right? And when we talk about strategy and performance, there is a series of corporate processes that are part of this big umbrella that we call strategy and performance corporate processes. So we have governance, we have succession management, we have project management, audits, balanced scorecards, ISOs, certifications, innovation management, KPIs, OKRs, budgets, and so much more, right? I'm not going to go through all of these. The idea is there is a number of practices or processes or management models that that interact with each other, and we call corporate management. And each one of these can have a software to support that practice, right? So you can have a software for OKRs, for example, another software for your BIs or your dashboards or your balanced scorecard, another software for your Scrum projects or task management, and so on. So for each of these practices, we have a whole ecosystem of softwares to support that practice, right? And what we've been seeing in organizations is that as you adopt an app or a software for each of these practices, they stop interacting with themselves. This should be practices that make sense independently, but they're also part of a management system, and they should interact with each other. But when you have apps or softwares for each of these, they stop talking to each other. They start acting as silos of information, right? And this is the reality that we see in most organizations. If we take a look at this chart is the number of SaaS apps on average for each organization, right? So the average number of SaaS apps. And we see that in 2015, we had only 8 SaaS apps on average for an organization. And this jumped to 80 in 2020 in just 5 years, then to 130 in 2022. This is the phenomenon that we call SaaS sprawl or app sprawl, right? It was the proliferation of SaaS applications in organizations. And it just boomed, right? In 7 years, from 8 to 130. And all of these specialized apps came about and companies adopted them. And for each activity, each management practice, you had an app for that, or you have an app for that. But this created big problems in the organizations, right? Managing SaaS is a new problem for IT. So there are so many providers that managing it all is a huge problem, and integrating it all is a huge problem. So if you have 8 SaaS applications and you buy the 9th, okay, you're going to integrate, this new SaaS application with 8 others to connect the information. But if you have 130 apps and you buy the 131st, how are you going to connect all this? It's impossible, right? So this has become a big pain especially in larger corporations.